Welcome everyone. This is the DFS Bum. All right, guys, we've got Game 6 coming up here on Tuesday night, NBA Finals. So let's go in there. We'll look at the winning lineup real quick, and then we'll go over the stats, and we'll finish up by jumping over the lineup optimizer and looking at a couple of potential lineups. So starting off on Fanduel, here's the winning lineup. Jrue Holiday had a monster game. It was over 60 points. Got the two-time point multiplier here. And then Devon Booker, another great game. Chris Paul, like I mentioned, I felt that he was due for a good game. He was over 40 points at the 1.2 multiplier here. Payne was another guy that came out, and then Middleton had a strong game. So it was kind of like what we talked about in that last video with being contrarian. In this case, Giannis had a subpar game. I mean, he was still over 50 points, but with the salary that he had, and it's so expensive, he wasn't in there, and thus pretty decent money on the line for 36,000 there. Now, my bad on DraftKings. I had actually lost a screenshot on that. I deleted it on accident. I had to get together a bunch of old high school buddies Saturday night. Got a little hand, so I think I did it accidentally after the game. But anyhow, I'm sure if we looked back at it, it'd probably be somewhat similar. There's 6 spots in there. Jrue Holiday was a high scorer for that game, and so with him being the lower salary and the multiplier, probably worked out that way. I don't know if Giannis was in that lineup or not on DraftKings, but that was a little bit of an anomaly moving forward. I'm sure I will have those available. I guess this could be the last game though too if the Bucks pull it out. All right, so let's jump over and we'll go down there and just jump right into the salaries that we have here. And so what we have Giannis coming in at 16,000 on FanDuel, so he's down 500 bucks from the previous game, 16,500. On DraftKings, he's coming in at 12,800, so he's up 200 bucks. So his salary has been steadily increasing there. For the playoff series here in the finals, averaging 39 minutes, 62 points overall for the playoffs, 36 minutes and 53 points. Jumping down, we've got Chris Paul. He's coming at 13,500. His pricing is down 500 bucks from the past game on FanDuel. He's coming in at 9,000 on DraftKings, so he's up 200 there. For this series, 36 points, 36 minutes. Overall for the playoffs, 31 minutes and about 35 points there. Like I mentioned, he had a nice, real strong game there. All right, Jrue Holiday, he's coming in at 13,500. No change in pricing for him on FanDuel. 9,600 on DraftKings, no change there as well. Overall for the playoffs, very strong in the finals here. 40 minutes, about 44 points overall for the playoffs, 37 minutes and 39 points. In all these guys right here, as you can see, in theory, could be potential MVP candidates for sure. All right, so DeAndre, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about that when we go to the lineup builder. But all right, moving on here, DeAndre, and he's coming at 13,000 on FanDuel, so no change in pricing there. 8,200 on DraftKings, so he's up 200 bucks. Overall for the playoffs, 37 in the finals, 37 minutes, 41 points, and then overall for the playoffs, 34 minutes and 34 points. So he's having a superb finals, really in the second round too. It was just going back to some of those first couple rounds where he was a little bit more inconsistent, but real strong play there for Ayton. All right, Middleton, he's coming in at 14,000 on FanDuel, so his pricing is up $1,500. He's 10,200 on DraftKings, so he dropped 200 bucks. In the finals, averaging 42 minutes, about 41 and a half points overall for the playoffs, 38 minutes and about 41 points there. So just another really strong ball player there. And then rounding out with all the guys that are going to put up the bulk of the points, it's going to be Devon Booker, 12,500 on FanDuel, so he went up 500 bucks. And then on DraftKings, he's 10,400, went up 200 bucks there. Overall for the finals, 39 minutes, about 41, 42 points overall for the playoffs, 38 minutes and 39 points. All right, and then and like I mentioned, those guys I feel are really just going to be the MVP candidates on the both slates. You could maybe get some at lower price that potentially exceeds value on it on something like DraftKings, where we need to take into consider the value of the player and the salary and the points that they might have. But it's probably just going to be those guys that we had mentioned. I would really be shocked if it was somebody outside of that. And then, too, like we'd mentioned with Giannis, going back on FanDuel, I can't remember the last game, but 2 games back, he was in 75% of the MVP lineups in that top spot. So like I mentioned prior in that last video, it's in some cases, like, yeah, if you want to take that you know, I mean, he's such a consistent scorer, but if you want to take that gamble and not put him in there at all, and for some reason he has a subpar night, you've eliminated a lot of the competition to some degree as far as that top spot. All right, so moving on down here, these are going to be more the just utility type players, like I mentioned. So we've got Brook Lopez. He's coming at 11,000 on Fanduel, no change in pricing there. 5,600 on DraftKings. He's down $400 there, so something of note. He came off a really some last 3 games relatively poor. 28 minutes and 13 points. 19 minutes and 17 points, 21 minutes and 15 points. So normally point per minute guy, he's usually around a 1 point per minute guy. I feel, you know, that he should just like. So I'll just back up real quick. So for the playoffs, he did start off first 2 games pretty solid, almost around 30 points. So for the finals, and I said playoffs, I meant the finals. The first 2 games of the playoffs, he was around 30 points. So he was solid there. So 23 minutes so far in the finals, 21 points. For the playoffs, 27 points, 25. Now, Bobby Portis has been picking up a lot of those minutes and playing pretty solid ball. They're basically splitting time for all intents and purposes at the 5 spot. But I don't know. I just feel like Lopez has got a good game in him. And now he is a little bit pricey. I do feel given his production, he should be a little bit lower possibly. But anyhow, that's a sleeper guy. Not sleeper enough for me to take him MVP, but as far as you know, being overlooked possibly, I could see it. All right, so now we go down to Jay Crowder. Been playing really solid ball. 10,000 on FanDuel, 7,400 on DraftKings. No change in his pricing. For the finals, been averaging 36 minutes, 29 points overall for the playoffs. 30 minutes and about 24 points. So obviously a lot to like there. You know, with the rotation, they're basically really shortened the rotation with Sarge being hurt. Kaminsky isn't taking those minutes. They've just really been spread out between you know, guys like Crowder picking up a little bit more, and then guys like off the bench like Cameron Johnson, Torrey Craig, and Cameron Payne. So speaking of Bridges, he's coming in at 9,000 on FanDuel, so he's down $500 there. 5,000 on DraftKings, so he's down $1,800 there. So came out last game, had a pretty good game. There was another guy too. You kind of felt that maybe he was due for a solid game. 32 minutes, 26 points, where he'd had a couple games prior to that, 16 and 8 points. So for the finals, averaging 30 minutes, about 17 points overall for the playoffs, 30 minutes and 22 points. Going down, we got Cameron Johnson. He's coming in at 9,500, so his pricing is up $500. Maybe that's getting a little bit too expensive for him now. He went up to 2,600, or excuse me, 6,600 is on DraftKings, which is a 2,600 increase. For the finals, averaging 23 minutes, about 16 and a half points overall for the playoffs, 20 minutes and about 15 points. All right, Bobby Portis, 9,000 on FanDuel. No change there in pricing, 4,400 on DraftKings, so he actually went down 1,200 there. Like I mentioned, with him, he's kind of splitting not quite evenly with Lopez, but he's definitely out there on the floor, giving you about 20 minutes. Historically, he's about, you know, he's over a 1 point per minute guy, so you can see some pretty solid performance with him. In the finals, 15 minutes and 14 points overall for the playoffs, 17 minutes and 17 points. All right, Connaughton. Pat Connaughton is coming at 8,000 on FanDuel, so his pricing dropped $500. 4,000 on DraftKings, so it went down $800 there. Probably wasn't really worthy of that for that to happen. It's coming out last couple games. He's been over 20 points, which is probably what you want out of that utility spot. For the finals, 31 minutes and 19 points overall for the playoffs, 22 minutes and 15 points. You know, like I say, he's been taking, like, you know, playing decent minutes here in the finals, so you just like him being out on the floor. Cameron Payne, 8,500, so he's up $500 on FanDuel. 5,200 is pricing on DraftKings, so he's up $800 there. Coming off a nice game there, 22 points. He did that in 14 minutes. Overall for the playoffs, 16 minutes and about 15 points. I mean, that's for the finals, and overall for the playoffs, 18 minutes, about 20 points. So some of that overall was driven when Chris Paul was out and he had played heavy minutes there. Real good point per minute guy, as you can see. That was probably his game. I could see him falling off after that, but nonetheless, he is a guy to consider. PJ Tucker, 7,500 on FanDuel, no change in pricing there. 3,400 on DraftKings, so he's down $200. He's really struggled here the last couple games, only 7 points, 10. Started off the series okay with 18 points, 13 and 16. For the finals, been playing 30 minutes, 13 points. For the playoffs, 27 minutes and 14 points. So I don't know with him. I kind of feel maybe he's due for a big game. It does going to take a lot, maybe get a couple steals here and there, some boards, maybe assist or two. couple points, and then next thing you know, he's likes that corner three. He gets a couple threes, and I could see him maybe. I kind of feel he's due for a game like around 20 points, and it'd be with recency bias, people overlook him. And then from there, really, just you have Torrey Craig, but he's just playing 12 minutes, 5 points for the series, 12 minutes, about 9 points for the playoffs. Jeff Teague, he's coming in and playing like 7 minutes, for the finals, 8, 7 minutes, like 4 or 5 points. Forbes hasn't been playing anymore, and Kaminsky, so that's pretty much it. So all right, let's jump over to lineup builder here real quick, and we'll wrap her up. So, all right, like I mentioned, Giannis is a guy that you probably like him. I mean, it's a little bit more as a safer bet, so to speak, because you know that he's going to like almost guarantee to give you 50 points plus, if not more. Like I say, he is getting a little bit expensive here, so there's plenty of room here to upgrade. So let's just go back in here, and maybe we'll just keep Giannis. Now let's take Giannis out of there. Maybe, DeAndre Ayton's been playing relatively consistent. So if we did something like that, Cameron Payne is nice and cheap. So it's a pretty good bargain there. I think Jay Crowder maybe is getting a little bit expensive. So we could get Giannis down into one of those spots. I think Cameron Johnson is a fairly decent value there. And so I think we got room to buy up, maybe get a little Chris Paul. And Connaughton is starting to get a little bit pricey there now. We don't have quite enough to get in Drew Holiday in there. But maybe going back to Jay Crowder, something like this. I think this is pretty decent here. Now DeAndre Ayton, whether he's going to hold that top spot or not, but does make you a little bit different as far as a contrarian standpoint. Yeah, I think that's relatively solid lineup there, but you could mess around with this forever. Let's just go jump over to Fanduel real quick, and then I'll wrap her up. So what's this kick out here? So Giannis, Middleton, Booker, Payne, yeah, boom. Doing something like this, flip-flopping these guys, you could certainly do that. You could always buy down on a guy. Let's say you want to go down DeAndre Ayton there, and because Cameron Payne is a little bit inconsistent, might let you buy up to maybe get, let's say, a guy like Bobby Portis or Cameron Johnson. Really, only downside of that is all these lineups here are going to be, they're just going to end up leaving a lot of money on the table. Not a lot of money on the table. They're going to be a lot of ties on something like this on FanDuel. I'll guarantee it. So anyhow, that's just basically how you use these lineup tools. It's another thing called Draft Dashboard. If you guys ever want to try it out, you can just go to YouTube video and try it out for a buck for just a month there. So anyhow, that is pretty much it for now. So anyhow, hopefully everyone goes out, kicks some ass. Hopefully Phoenix comes back, so we've got Game 7. It's one more video. If for some reason the Bucks do win, and we don't cover baseball here, but we'll be doing NFL and football, so that'll be something to look forward to as well. But I'll keep you guys posted with some videos out in the summer, just keeping you abreast of what's going on with upcoming content. So, all right, guys, go out, kick some ass, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.